The screech of metal tearing through metal pierced the Seoul night, and Anabella Martinez watched a silver sedan flip 3 times before slamming into the barrier, flames erupting instantly. Around her, dozens of phones lifted to record, but nobody moved toward the woman trapped inside the inferno. When Anabella yanked open that burning door and pulled out the bleeding stranger, she had no idea she'd just saved the most dangerous woman in Korea, or that 3 black SUVs full of armed men were already racing toward her with orders that would change her life forever. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button, because what happens next would leave you speechless. Now let's dive in. The screech of metal tearing through metal pierced the Seoul night. Anabella Martinez froze on the sidewalk, her coffee cup slipping from her fingers as a silver sedan flipped 3 times before slamming into the barrier 20 feet ahead. Flames erupted from the engine, orange and hungry, licking toward the crumpled driver's side where a figure slumped against shattered glass. Around her, phones lifted. Dozens of them, recording, watching, posting. Nobody moved. Anabella ran. Heat scorched her face as she yanked the door handle once, twice, her palms screaming against hot metal. The woman inside was older, elegant even in disaster, blood trickling from her temple. Their eyes met through smoke and chaos. "I've got you," Anabella gasped in Korean, her accent thick but clear. She hooked her arms under the woman's shoulders and pulled, dragging her across asphalt as the flames roared louder, closer. They collapsed together 15 feet away just as the first explosion punched through the wreckage. Sirens wailed in the distance. The woman's fingers closed around Anabella's wrist with surprising strength. "Your name," she whispered. "Anabella. Anabella Martinez. Remember this moment." The woman's eyes were black and bottomless. "Everything changes now." 3 black SUVs materialized from nowhere, tires smoking as they formed a barrier around them. Men in tactical gear poured out, weapons visible, movements precise and military. They surrounded the injured woman with practiced efficiency while others scanned rooftops, alleys, and the growing crowd of onlookers. Anabella stumbled backward, heart hammering. What had she just walked into? A 4th vehicle arrived, this one moving with deliberate slowness that somehow felt more threatening than speed. When its door opened, the armed men straightened, their deference immediate and absolute. The man who emerged was tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a black suit that probably cost more than Anabella's yearly rent. Tattoos crawled up his neck, disappearing beneath his collar. His face was carved from stone, beautiful and severe, with eyes that swept the scene and catalogued every detail in seconds. Those eyes landed on Anabella and stopped. "Director Kim," one of the guards said, bowing. "Your mother is stable. Minor injuries. This woman pulled her from the vehicle before. I can see what she did." His voice was deep, controlled, with an edge that suggested violence always hovered just beneath the surface. He moved toward Anabella with predatory grace. "You're bleeding." She glanced down. Her arms were scraped raw, her shirt torn. She hadn't noticed. "I'm fine." "Is she? Who are you?" He stood close now, too close, studying her face like she was a puzzle he needed to solve immediately. "Nobody. I was just walking and I saw the crash and—" Anabella's voice faltered under his intensity. Even through her adrenaline fog, she registered the power radiating from him. This wasn't just wealth. This was something else entirely. "Jihoon." The older woman's voice cut through the chaos. "Bring her." His jaw tightened. "Mother, you need a hospital. And she comes with us. I claim her." The woman's words carried weight that Anabella didn't understand, but everyone else clearly did. The guards shifted, exchanged glances. "Under family law. She saved my life. She is mine now." Jihoon's gaze never left Anabella's face. Something flickered there, assessment or frustration, before his expression locked down completely. "Do you understand what you've just done?" he asked her quietly. "I pulled someone from a burning car. That's what people are supposed to do. People record it for social media. They don't risk their lives for strangers." His eyes narrowed. "You speak Korean." "My grandmother was Korean. I studied." "Get in the vehicle." "Not a request." His hand closed around her elbow, grip firm but not painful, and Anabella found herself being guided toward the SUV before she could process what was happening. Around them, the guards were already dispersing the crowd, creating a corridor of privacy. Wait, I didn't agree to. My mother claimed you under family law. In our world, that's binding. Jihoon opened the door, his body blocking any escape route. Up close, she could see the tattoos more clearly. Dragons and tigers wound around his throat, symbols she didn't recognize but felt were important. You stopped being just a passerby the second you touched her. Now you're involved whether you want to be or not. If you're enjoying the story, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this tale is about to take you somewhere unexpected. The medical facility they brought her to wasn't a hospital. It was something private, underground, accessed through a parking garage that descended 5 levels beneath Seoul's glittering surface. The older woman, whom everyone called Director Seo, was whisked away by doctors who appeared to be expecting her. Anabella stood in the pristine hallway, suddenly aware of how out of place she was in her stained clothes and wild hair. Jihoon hadn't left her side. He'd maintained that same watchful distance, close enough that she felt his presence like heat, far enough that she couldn't read his expression. I should go home, Anabella said. I have work tomorrow, Anne. You don't have work tomorrow. You don't have anything tomorrow. He gestured to a side room. Shower. Change. Someone will bring clothes. You can't just kidnap me. I didn't. My mother claimed you. There's a difference. For the first time, something like dark amusement touched his features. And you can leave anytime you want. But you won't make it 3 blocks before her enemies find you. The words hit like ice water. What? That wasn't an accident tonight. Someone tried to kill her. Jihoon stepped closer, and Anabella's back hit the wall. He braced one hand beside her head, not threatening but utterly overwhelming. Which means they saw you pull her out. They saw her claim you. You're a target now, Anabella Martinez. The only safe place for you is here with us until we eliminate the threat. Her pulse thundered in her ears. This close, she could smell him, something clean and expensive with an undertone of smoke. Why would anyone want to hurt her? Because she controls one of the largest financial empires in Asia. Because my family has enemies who've waited decades for an opening. His gaze dropped to her mouth, then back to her eyes. Because power makes people desperate and desperate people do stupid things. Like pulling strangers from burning cars? No. His voice lowered, intimate, and dangerous. That was either very brave or very stupid. I haven't decided which. Can it be both? Something shifted in his expression. The stone cracked just slightly, revealing heat underneath. Then he pushed away, breaking the moment. Shower. Change. Then we talk. The suite they gave her was larger than her entire apartment. Anabella stood under water that felt like silk, watching blood and soot spiral down the drain, trying to process what her life had become in the span of an hour. When she emerged, she found clothes laid out on the bed, black pants that fit perfectly, a soft gray sweater, everything in exactly her size. That should have been impossible. They couldn't have known her measurements. Unless Jihoon had assessed her that quickly, that thoroughly, with those calculating eyes. She dressed and found him waiting in the sitting room, jacket discarded, sleeves rolled up to reveal more tattoos winding up his forearms. He'd loosened his tie. He looked dangerous and beautiful and completely in control. Better, he asked. Am I a prisoner? Your family. According to my mother. He poured 2 glasses of something amber from a crystal decanter. Drink. You're still in shock. Anabella took the glass, but didn't drink. I don't understand any of this. Family law, claiming enemies. I pulled someone from a car. That's it. That's never it. Not in our world. Jihoon sipped his drink, watching her over the rim. My mother is Director Seo, head of the Seo family consortium. We control shipping, real estate, technology, half the infrastructure in Seoul. When she claims someone under family law, it means that person is under our protection and authority. Legally, socially, in every way that matters in Korean society. I am American. You're Korean. At least partly. His eyes traced her features. Your grandmother? She left Korea 60 years ago. Married a Mexican-American man. My father married a black woman from Texas. I'm all of it and none of it. The familiar frustration rose in her chest. Too brown for Koreans, too Asian for everyone else. I don't fit anywhere. You fit here now. Jihoon set down his glass. Whether you like it or not, my mother's claim makes you part of this family. Which means you'll stay in this compound under guard until the threat is neutralized. How long? Days. Weeks. Months. He shrugged, the gesture somehow still elegant. However long it takes. I have a life. You had a life. Now you have this one. He moved closer again, and Anabella realized he did that when he wanted to make a point, invaded space like a weapon. I know you don't understand yet, but my mother doesn't make careless decisions. She saw something in you worth claiming, worth protecting. So that's what we'll do. And you? What do you see? The question hung between them. Jihoon's gaze locked with hers, intense and unreadable. I see someone who runs toward fire when everyone else runs away. Someone who speaks Korean with an American accent but perfect grammar. Someone who's trying very hard to be brave when she's terrified. He reached out, and his fingers brushed her cheek so gently she almost didn't feel it. I see a complication I don't need but can't ignore. Then he was gone, the door closing behind him with a soft click that sounded impossibly final. Anabella sank onto the couch, her legs suddenly unsteady. What had she gotten herself into? The next morning brought answers she didn't want. Director Seo summoned her to a private breakfast room overlooking a garden that couldn't possibly exist 5 floors underground, but somehow did. The older woman looked remarkably recovered, wearing a silk robe embroidered with cranes, her injury hidden beneath a small bandage. Sit, Director Seo said, and Anabella obeyed. You must have questions. About 1,000. A small smile. Start with the most important. Why me? Because when death came for me, you were the one who didn't hesitate. Everyone else watched. You acted. Director Seo poured tea with steady hands. Do you know how rare that is? True courage without thought of reward or consequence. I'm sure plenty of people would have. No, they wouldn't. They didn't. The director's eyes were kind but unyielding. I've spent 50 years reading people, Anabella. Building empires requires understanding human nature at its core. When I looked at you through that smoke, I saw someone pure, uncorrupted, someone worth saving. So you claimed me? I claimed you, to protect you and to test my son. Director Seo sipped her tea calmly. Jihoon has forgotten how to trust. He sees threats in every shadow, betrayal in every gesture. He's become too hard, too isolated. You are my reminder to him that goodness still exists in this world. I'm not that good. You risked your life for a stranger. That's goodness. Director Seo leaned forward. Now I need you to stay. Not as my prisoner, but as my guest. My family. Let me protect you while we find who tried to kill me. And perhaps, in the process, you'll remind my son how to be human again. Anabella wanted to argue, to demand her freedom, but something in the director's face stopped her. Loneliness, maybe. Or hope? What if I can't? Remind him, I mean. Then at least you'll be safe while you try. The days that followed fell into a strange rhythm. Anabella had a suite, a security detail, access to everything within the compound, but permission to leave nowhere. Jihoon appeared and disappeared like a storm, checking on her with the same intensity he brought to everything else. They had dinner together the third night, a formal affair that felt more like an interrogation. You studied Korean in university? Jihoon asked, perfectly polite, perfectly distant. And literature. I was going to teach before. Anabella stopped. Before what? Before life happened. She met his gaze. Not everyone gets to follow their dreams. Some of us have to eat. So you became a waitress. I became employed. It's not glamorous, but it's honest work. Defensiveness crept into her voice. Not all of us are born into financial empires. No. Some of us are born into them and spend our lives wishing we weren't. Jihoon's expression didn't change, but something flickered beneath the surface. Money doesn't buy freedom. Sometimes it's the most expensive prison there is. The vulnerability surprised her. Is that what this is for you? A prison. Every day. He reached for his wine. My mother built this empire from nothing. She expects me to protect it, expand it, never show weakness. The tattoos, the reputation, all of it is armor. Because the moment I seem human, someone will try to exploit it. That sounds exhausting. It is. His eyes met hers. You're the first person in years who's looked at me without fear or calculation. Just curiosity. Maybe that's because I don't know enough to be afraid yet. Oh, you should be afraid. But he smiled slightly when he said it, and Anabella's heart did something complicated in her chest. I'm very dangerous, Anabella Martinez. I'm starting to believe that. Not because of his reputation or his tattoos or the way his guards moved around him, but because of the way he looked at her, like she was a code he was determined to crack. But I'm not sure if you're dangerous to me or for me. That makes two of us. Don't forget to comment below what you think will happen next. Will Anabella break through Jihoon's walls, or will his world consume her? The attack came on the 7th night. Anabella was reading in her suite when the lights went out. Emergency systems kicked in immediately, bathing everything in red. Alarms shrieked. Through her door, she heard shouting, the sharp crack of gunfire. Her phone buzzed. A text from Jihoon. Stay inside. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. Her hands shook as she turned the lock. More gunfire, closer now. Something hit her door hard enough to crack the frame. Anabella grabbed the heaviest object she could find, a marble bookend, and pressed herself against the wall. The door exploded inward. Two men in black masks surged through. Anabella swung the bookend with everything she had, catching the first one across the temple. He dropped. The second grabbed her wrist, twisting, and pain exploded up her arm. She screamed and drove her knee into his groin. He grunted but didn't let go. Then Jihoon was there. He moved like violence given form, every motion precise and brutal. The masked man released Anabella to defend himself and lasted maybe 3 seconds before Jihoon put him on the ground, unconscious or dead, she couldn't tell. More guards poured in behind him. Jihoon pulled Anabella against his chest, his heart hammering against her cheek, his arms steel bands around her. You're okay, he said, and it wasn't a question. He was declaring it into existence through sheer will. You're okay because I'm here and nothing touches you while I'm here. She was shaking, adrenaline crashing through her system. They came for me. They came for all of us. It was a coordinated attack. His hand cupped the back of her head, holding her closer. But they failed. You're safe. How can you promise that? Because I'll burn this entire city down before I let anyone hurt you. The words were quiet, absolute, and completely sincere. He pulled back enough to look at her face, checking for injuries with those intense eyes. Did they touch you? One grabbed my wrist. I'm fine. Jihoon's jaw clenched. He took her arm gently, examining the red marks already blooming into bruises. His thumb brushed over them with devastating tenderness. I'm going to find out who sent them. And they're going to regret that you have even this much damage. The possessiveness in his voice should have frightened her. Instead, something hot and dangerous unfurled in Anabella's chest. You can't protect me from everything. Watch me. He stood, pulling her up with him. You're moving to the secure wing. Next to my room. Where I can reach you in seconds if anything happens. Jihoon. This isn't negotiable, Anabella. His hands framed her face, forcing her to meet his eyes. Someone just tried to kill you. They breached our security, got past my guards, and nearly succeeded. I won't let that happen again. You sleep where I can protect you, or you don't sleep at all. That's ridiculous. That's reality. His voice dropped, rough and raw. Do you have any idea what went through my mind when I got that alert? When I saw your door breached. I've seen combat, war, death. Nothing has terrified me like those 30 seconds before I reached you. The confession hung between them, honest and devastating. Anabella's breath caught. Why do you care this much? I'm just someone your mother claimed. A stranger. You stopped being a stranger the moment you ran toward that fire. And you stopped being just my mother's responsibility when I realized I'd kill anyone who tried to hurt you. His forehead touched hers, the gesture achingly intimate. I don't have feelings, Anabella. I don't do attachment. It's a weakness in my world. But you have gotten under my skin, and I don't know how to get you out. Worse, I don't want to. This is crazy. We barely know each other. I know you're brave. I know you're kind. I know you look at me like I'm a person instead of a weapon. His hands slid down to her shoulders, grounding, anchoring. I know that when I thought I might lose you tonight, something inside me broke. That's enough. Anabella's hands came up to his chest, feeling his heart race beneath her palms. Your world is dangerous. Yes. People want to kill your family. Yes. I don't fit in it. I'm not like you. No. You're better. Jihoon's thumb traced her jawline. You're everything this world isn't. Light where there's darkness. Softness where there's only edges. You remind me that there's more than just survival and strategy. I'm scared, she whispered. Good. Fear keeps you alive. His lips brushed her forehead, so gentle it made her ache. But I promise you this. I will always be between you and whatever comes. Always. Even if it costs me everything. The secure wing was a fortress within a fortress. Jihoon's suite was all dark colors and clean lines, masculine and expensive and surprisingly comfortable. Anabella's new room connected to his through a shared sitting area, close enough that she could hear him moving around at night. Close enough that she felt safe for the first time since the attack. Director Seo visited the next morning, bringing tea and sympathy. I'm sorry this happened to you, child. I never wanted you caught in our conflicts. Who's trying to kill you? Anabella asked bluntly. My brother-in-law. Jihoon's uncle. Director Seo's face hardened. He's wanted control of the family consortium for decades. Thought it should have gone to him instead of me when my husband died. Now he sees an opportunity in my age, my supposed weakness. You're not weak. No. But I am tired of fighting with my family. The director's eyes were sad. Jihoon doesn't understand. He thinks strength means never backing down, never showing mercy. But sometimes the strongest thing is knowing when to walk away. You're going to retire? I'm going to let Jihoon take over and see if he's learned anything from having you here. From caring about someone besides himself. Director Seo smiled. You're good for him. He's been coming alive again, bit by bit. I see him laughing, arguing, feeling. It's what I hoped would happen when I claimed you. Anabella's chest tightened. You used me. I saved you and gave my son a chance at happiness. Are those such terrible things? Director Seo stood, elegant and unmovable. Love is coming, child. Don't fight it just because it's complicated. The best things always are. Jihoon found Anabella in the garden that afternoon, staring at flowers that shouldn't exist underground, but thrived anyway through determination and careful engineering. My mother talked to you, he said, not a question. She told me about your uncle. About why she claimed me. Anabella didn't turn around. She's manipulating both of us. Probably. He moved beside her, hands in his pockets, looking more relaxed than she'd ever seen him. Does it matter? Doesn't it bother you? My mother spent 50 years manipulating people toward outcomes she wants. Steady, irrevocable. It's how she built an empire. Maybe I already have. Jihoon shrugged. I don't know the timeline and I don't mind. All I know is that you're the first thing I think about when I wake up and somehow impossibly you make me happy. You're what I check on constantly. Anabella finally looked at him. My entire day around how can you be happy? You've become essential. Just tried to kill us. Her heart was racing. Because you're alive. That's not love. Because you're here. That's an obsession. Because when I'm with you, in my world, the weight on my shoulders feels lighter. His free hand cupped her cheek, his fingers tangling with hers. When you care about someone here, I have lived in darkness my entire life. You protect them with everything you have. Learn to navigate it. You make them yours in every way that matters. You showed up like fire in the night. You stand between them, suddenly I remembered there are other ways to exist. That's too much. That's what you deserve. His thumb brushed her lip. Someone who sees you and decides nothing else matters. Someone willing to burn their entire world down to keep you safe. Someone who'll fight for you even when you're fighting yourself. I don't know how to handle this. You scare me. I know. I scare myself. Jihoon leaned closer, his breath warm against her skin. But I'm asking you to try anyway. Stay. Not because my mother claimed you or because it's safe here. Stay because you want to see where this goes. Because maybe you feel even a fraction of what I do. And if I can't give you what you want, then I'll take whatever you can give and be grateful for it. His forehead touched hers. I'm not asking for forever, Anabella. Just for now. Just for a chance. She closed her eyes, overwhelmed by his intensity, by the way he made her feel seen and precious and completely terrified. You're dangerous. Only to people who threaten what's mine. His lips brushed the corner of her mouth, not quite a kiss, more devastating because of it. And you're mine now, whether you've accepted it yet or not. I claimed you the moment I realized I'd kill for you. Everything else is just details. Make sure you like this video and share it with someone who loves intense romance stories. The confrontation with Jihoon's uncle came 3 days later. He arrived at the compound with lawyers and demands, trying to force a board meeting to remove Director Seo from power while she recovered. Jihoon met him in the formal receiving room with Anabella at his side, a statement that wasn't lost on anyone present. Uncle Daeshim. Jihoon's voice was ice. You're not welcome here. This is a family business. She doesn't belong. The uncle's eyes raked over Anabella with open contempt. Your mother claims a mixed-blood American girl and expects the family to accept it? This is exactly why she needs to step down. She's lost her judgment. Anabella felt Jihoon tense beside her, violence coiling in his muscles. She put her hand on his arm and felt him fighting for control. My mother's judgment is perfect, Jihoon said quietly, dangerously. She recognized courage and value where you only see skin color. That's why she leads and you follow. She's destroying our family's legacy. No. Anabella stepped forward before Jihoon could respond. Her heart hammered, but her voice stayed steady. You're destroying it with your prejudice and your pride. I didn't ask to be here. I didn't ask to be claimed. But I saved your sister-in-law's life while you were probably planning her death. So maybe before you judge my worth, you should examine your own. The room went silent. The uncle's face turned red. How dare you? She dares because I allow it. Jihoon moved beside Anabella, his hand settling possessively on her lower back. Because she's family now. My mother claimed her. I'm claiming her. Under every law that matters in our world, she's ours. Touch her, insult her, even look at her wrong, and you'll learn exactly how far I've fallen from the civilized businessman everyone thinks I am. You're besotted with some foreign girl. I'm in love with her. Jihoon's words cut through everything. Which means she's not negotiable. Not for politics, not for family approval, not for anything. You can accept her or you can leave. Those are your only options. Anabella's breath caught. He'd just declared his feelings in front of his family, publicly, irrevocably. The uncle looked between them, saw something in Jihoon's face that made him step back. The board will hear about this, he said weakly. The board will hear that you orchestrated an attack on my mother and on Anabella. That we have evidence, testimony, and proof. Jihoon's smile was cold. You wanted control, uncle? You should have been smarter about taking it. Now you get nothing but exile. Leave Korea by tomorrow or face prosecution. Those are your options. The uncle left, diminished and furious. When the doors closed, Anabella turned to Jihoon. You said you love me. I do. No hesitation, no doubt. Did you think I was joking? I thought you were just protecting me. I was. I am. Because I love you. He pulled her closer, right there in the formal room with guards and staff everywhere, and kissed her forehead. Everything I've done since the moment you ran toward that fire has been about keeping you safe and making you mine. I thought that was obvious. You're impossible. I'm yours. There's a difference. His hands framed her face, his gaze intense and unwavering. I love you, Anabella Martinez. Every stubborn, brave, beautiful part of you. I love how you argue with me and challenge me and make me feel human again. I love that you're scared, but you're still here. I love that you see past the tattoos and the reputation to the man underneath. Tears burned her eyes. This is happening so fast. Because life is short and unpredictable, and I've wasted too much time being afraid of feeling something real. His thumb caught a tear before it could fall. I know it's fast. I know it's intense. But I also know what I want, and I want you. Every day. Every way I can have you. For as long as you'll let me. I don't know how to do this. Your world. We'll figure it out together. He kissed her then, soft and deep and full of promise. You're not alone in this. You'll never be alone again. I'll teach you everything you need to know. Protect you from everything you can't handle. Stand beside you through every challenge. Just don't leave me. Please. The vulnerability in that last word broke her. Anabella wrapped her arms around his neck and kissed him back, pouring every confused feeling into it. Terror and hope and something that might be love or might just be inevitability at this point. When they broke apart, Jihoon was smiling. Actually smiling, open and genuine and devastating. So you'll stay? He asked. I'll stay. Because leaving felt impossible now. Because he'd gotten under her skin just as deeply as she'd gotten under his. But you have to promise me something. Anything. Don't lose yourself trying to protect me. I need you to stay human, stay feeling, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. His expression softened. That's not a sacrifice. That's a gift. He kissed her again, gentler this time. You make me want to be human. You make the hard parts feel possible. So yes, I promise. As long as you promise to keep reminding me when I forget. Deal. The next weeks transformed Anabella's life completely. She moved fully into Jihoon's space, their lives intertwining with surprising ease. He taught her the complicated politics of his world, introduced her to business partners and family friends who either accepted her or learned to hide their disapproval. Director Seo watched everything with satisfied amusement, her plan apparently working better than she'd hoped. Anabella learned to navigate board meetings and formal dinners. She studied the consortium's operations and found ways to contribute, her literature background surprisingly useful in crafting communications and managing public relations. She became part of the family not just through Director Seo's claim, but through her own competence and determination. And through Jihoon's completely undisguised obsession with her. He was never more than a room away. His guards became her guards. His schedule shifted around hers. He touched her constantly, small gestures that marked her as his in front of everyone. A hand at her back. Fingers tangling with hers. His jacket draped over her shoulders. Small declarations that added up to one unmistakable message. She was claimed, protected, his. You know people are talking, Anabella said one night as they lay tangled together in his bed, the city glittering through floor-to-ceiling windows. Let them. Jihoon's fingers traced patterns on her bare shoulder. What are they saying? That you've gone soft. That love has made you weak. Have I seemed weak to you? His voice held dark amusement. No. If anything, you're more dangerous now. She turned to face him. Because now you have something to protect. Something worth fighting for. Everything to fight for. He kissed her shoulder, her throat, her jaw. You've made me vulnerable and powerful at the same time. Given me a weakness I'll defend with everything I am. That's not soft. That's primal. Is that what I am? Your weakness. You're my heart. His hand cupped her face. Everything else is just armor. But you're the real thing underneath, beating and alive in mine. 6 months later, Director Seo announced her retirement. She did it at a massive family gathering with the entire consortium present. Jihoon stood to take over as the new director, and Anabella stood beside him, wearing a traditional hanbok that Director Seo had commissioned specially for her. The fabric was stunning, embroidered with phoenixes rising from flames. Rebirth, Director Seo had explained when she'd presented it. That's what you both represent. My son, reborn from the cold man he was becoming. You, reborn into a family and world you never imagined. Together, you'll lead this family into the future. Now, standing before everyone who mattered in Korean high society, Jihoon took Anabella's hand. Before I accept this position, he said, his voice carrying through the room, I need to make something clear. Anabella Martinez is my partner in every sense of the word. She's not just my mother's claim or my companion. She's essential to who I am and who this family will become. Anyone who has a problem with that can leave now. Silence. Then Director Seo began clapping. Others joined, some enthusiastically, some reluctantly, but all of them acknowledged what Jihoon had declared. Afterward, in the garden, Anabella finally let herself breathe. That was terrifying. That was necessary. Jihoon pulled her close. The garden's empty except for discreet guards at the perimeter. I meant every word. You're my partner. In business, in life, in everything. They will always judge me for being different. They'll respect you for being strong. For standing beside me even when it's hard. For making me better than I was. His hands slid into her hair. Besides, I don't care what they think. I only care what you think. I think you're the most intense person I've ever met. I think you've completely taken over my life. I think I should probably be more scared of how much power you have over me. And? His lips curved against her temple. And I think I love you anyway. Maybe because of it. Anabella pulled back to look at him. You promised me you'd stay human. You've kept that promise. You've let yourself feel and care and be vulnerable with me. That's not nothing. That's everything. Jihoon's expression was raw, open, completely his. You saved my life just as much as you saved my mother's. I was dying inside, Anabella. Becoming something cold and empty. Then you ran toward fire when everyone else ran away, and you reminded me what courage looks like. What goodness looks like. What I wanted to fight for. So we saved each other. She smiled. That seems fair. Nothing about this is fair. His thumb traced her lower lip. You deserve someone easier, safer, less complicated. Instead you got me, and all the darkness I come with. I got you, and all the light you're capable of when you let yourself feel it. That's more than fair. That's everything. She kissed him, slow and deep, pouring certainty into it. I love you, Jihoon Kim. The scary parts and the soft parts and everything in between. I love you more. He rested his forehead against hers. I love you so much it terrifies me. Because now I understand what my mother meant about vulnerability being dangerous. If anything happened to you, nothing will happen. You've made sure of that. You've built walls around me so high nobody could climb them. She cupped his face in her hands. But you also gave me space to breathe inside those walls. To grow. To be myself. That's the difference between protection and possession. And if sometimes I cross that line, then I'll remind you where it is. That's what partners do. Anabella smiled. You're not getting rid of me, Jihoon. I am claimed, remember? Your mother's law. Your declaration. I'm bound to you now whether you like it or not. Oh, I like it. His arms tightened around her waist. I plan to keep you claimed for the rest of our lives. Is that a proposal? Not yet. When I propose, you'll know. His eyes held promises and heat. It'll be unforgettable. Overwhelming. Completely impossible to say no to. That's very confident. That's very accurate. He kissed her again, and Anabella felt the truth of it down to her bones. This man would move mountains for her, would reshape his entire world to keep her safe and happy. She'd stumbled into his life through fire and chaos, and somehow they'd forged something real in the aftermath. 1 year to the day after she'd pulled Director Seo from that burning car, Jihoon took Anabella back to the exact spot where it had happened. The intersection had been repaired, all signs of the crash erased. But Anabella could still see it in her mind, the flames, the fear, the moment everything changed. Why are we here? She asked. Because this is where you became mine. Jihoon turned her to face him. This is where a waitress ran toward danger and saved my mother. Where a stranger became family. Where my entire life changed in the space of 30 seconds. Jihoon, I've thought about this moment every day since it happened. How you didn't hesitate. Didn't calculate odds or worry about consequences. You just acted. His hands were steady as they framed her face. That's who you are. Brave and selfless and completely extraordinary. And I knew even then that I'd never let you go. You didn't even like me at first. I was terrified of you. Of what you represented. Change, vulnerability, feeling something real. He smiled, that rare open expression that still made her heart stutter. But I couldn't fight it. You got past every defense I'd spent years building. Made me want things I'd convinced myself I didn't need. Made me human again. You're being very sentimental for someone with dragon tattoos and a reputation for ruthlessness. You bring that out in me. The soft parts one thought I'd killed. His thumbs brushed her cheekbones. Which is why I'm doing this now, in this spot, where everything started. Anabella Martinez, light of my life, savior of my family, keeper of my heart, will you marry me? He didn't kneel. Didn't produce a ring from his pocket with flourish. Instead, he held a small black box in one hand while the other stayed cupped against her face, grounding her, connecting them. This isn't just about love, Jihoon continued, his voice rough. Though I love you more than I thought possible. This is about partnership. About building a life together in a world that's complicated and dangerous and sometimes cruel. I want you beside me through all of it. As my wife, my equal, my everything. Say yes. That's not really a question, Anabella said, but her eyes were burning with tears. It is. Because if you say no, I'll respect it. I'll let you go if that's what you need, even though it would destroy me. His expression was completely serious. But I'm asking you to stay. Permanently. Irrevocably. Completely mine as I'm completely yours. You're sure about this? About me? I'm still American, still mixed, still. Still everything I want and nothing I expected and absolutely perfect exactly as you are. Jihoon opened the box, revealing a ring that was somehow both traditional and modern. Diamonds and jade worked together in a setting that honored both their heritages. I'm not asking you to change or fit some mold. I'm asking you to be yourself with me forever. So, what do you say? Anabella looked at the ring, at his face, at the intersection where her entire life had pivoted on one split-second decision. She thought about the past year. The fear and growth and challenges. The way Jihoon had protected her without smothering her, loved her without trying to change her, made space for her in his complicated world. Yes, she said simply. Yes to all of it. To you, to this life, to everything we're building together. The smile that broke across Jihoon's face was blinding. He slid the ring onto her finger with hands that weren't quite steady, then kissed her like she was air and he'd been drowning. Around them, the city moved on, oblivious. But in that moment, on that spot, they were the only two people who existed. I'm going to make you so happy, Jihoon murmured against her lips. You already do. Then I'm going to make you happier. Every single day for the rest of our lives. His arms tightened around her. You saved me, Anabella. In every way a person can be saved. Now I get to spend forever showing you what that means. That sounds perfect. That sounds like everything. 6 months later, they married in a ceremony that blended Korean tradition with touches of Anabella's Mexican and Black American heritage. Director Seo beamed throughout, her plan to humanize her son having succeeded beyond her wildest expectations. The business community gossiped, some with approval, others with thinly veiled disapproval. But Jihoon and Anabella didn't care. They had built something real in the midst of chaos. Found love in the space between danger and safety. Created a partnership that honored both their identities without requiring either of them to diminish themselves. On their wedding night, in the penthouse suite of the family compound, Jihoon held Anabella close and whispered, "Thank you for running toward that fire. Thank you for catching me when I did. Always," he promised. "I'll always catch you. Always protect you. Always love you exactly as you are. And I'll always remind you that you're human. That you're capable of softness and feeling and joy." She traced the dragon tattoo on his neck. "We balance each other. We complete each other." His lips found hers in the darkness. "My fierce, brave, beautiful wife. Mine in every way that matters." "Yours," Anabella agreed. "And you're mine too. The dangerous, protective, surprisingly soft when nobody's looking at you. Only you see that side. Good. I want to keep it just for me." They fell asleep tangled together, the city glittering beyond the windows, their future stretching out bright and complicated and completely theirs to shape. It had started with fire and fear and a split-second decision. It had grown through conflict and tenderness and slowly dismantled walls. Now it was forever. A love forged in chaos, tempered in danger, and strengthened by two people who decided that fitting together was more important than fitting in. Before we end, if you loved the story of Anabella and Jihoon's journey from a chance meeting to forever love, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more emotional and intense romance stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Drop a comment below telling me which moment was your favorite, and don't forget to share this video with someone who loves powerful love stories. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story. Anabella Martinez had run toward fire when everyone else ran away. She'd saved a stranger and found a family. She'd loved a man who thought he was incapable of love. And in doing so, she'd proven that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let yourself be claimed by someone who sees your worth even when you don't see it yourself. This was her story. Their story. A testament to courage, acceptance, and the transformative power of love that refuses to be contained by circumstance or expectation. And it was only the beginning.